Welcome to my channel. Sit tight as I would be telling you a story. Promise me you will learn from it and act on the lesson learned. Have you ever wondered why some people, no matter how much advice or wisdom you give them, never seem to grow? It's as if they're always too full to receive. Today, I want to share with you an ancient story about a wise monk, his eager student, and a simple but powerful lesson taught with nothing more than an empty cup. Before the story, kindly hit the subscribe button below. Scene 1. The student arrives. A young man traveled far into the mountains in search of a wise monk who was known across the land for his wisdom. The young man was ambitious, educated, and proud of all he had achieved. When he arrived at the monastery, he bowed respectfully but wasted no time in speaking. "Master, I have read many scriptures. I have debated with scholars. I have achieved high ranks in my studies. Yet, I feel something is missing. Please, teach me your wisdom so that I may become even greater." The monk listened quietly, his calm eyes fixed on the young student. Scene 2. The invitation. Instead of answering, the monk smiled gently. "Very well," the monk said. "But first, join me for some tea." The student was confused but obeyed. He sat across from the monk at a low wooden table. The old monk placed a simple cup in front of him, then began to pour tea from a kettle. At first, the tea filled the cup normally. But soon, the liquid reached the brim, and still, the monk kept pouring. The tea spilled over the edge, dripping onto the table and spilling onto the floor. "Master," the student cried out. "The cup is already full. No more will go in." The monk set the kettle down and looked calmly at his student. Scene 3. The lesson. "You are like this cup," said the monk. "You come to me already full of your own opinions, your own pride, your own knowledge. Unless you first empty your cup, how can I show you true wisdom?" The student froze. His heart sank. In that moment, he realized that all his years of study had filled him with arrogance. He had come not to learn, but to prove himself. And in doing so, he had closed himself off from deeper truth. Scene 4. Reflection and struggle. The student bowed his head. For the first time, he felt humbled. "Master, how do I empty my cup?" he asked softly. The monk smiled. "You must let go of the belief that you already know. True learning begins when the mind is open and free of pride. Humility is the doorway to wisdom." The young man sat in silence, wrestling with this truth. All his life, he had been praised for being clever, for knowing the answers, for being ahead of others. But now, he realized, wisdom is not about showing off what you know, it is about being teachable. Scene 5. Applying the lesson. From that day forward, the student began to practice the art of emptying his cup. When he listened without interrupting. When he spoke less, and with thought. When he learned something new, he accepted it with humility rather than trying to compare it to what he already knew. And slowly, he began to change. He became calmer, more patient, more open-minded. People around him noticed his growth, not because he displayed knowledge, but because he radiated wisdom. Scene 6. The universal truth. This simple story carries a profound truth for all of us. How often do we approach life, relationships, or even God, with a cup already full? Full of opinions, full of pride, full of assumptions, full of our own truths. But the reality is, a full cup cannot be filled. If you think you already know everything, you cannot learn. If you think you are always right, you cannot grow. If your heart is full of pride, humility cannot enter. To truly gain wisdom, to grow, to find peace, we must first empty our cups. Scene 7. Practical lessons. So what does it mean to empty your cup in daily life? 1. Listen more than you speak. Sometimes wisdom comes from the quiet voices around us. 2. Release pride. Being wrong is not failure, it's growth. 3. Be open to new perspectives. Even a child can teach us something valuable. 4. Practice humility. Remember, the wisest people in the world are those who remain students forever. Conclusion. Call to action, my friend. The monk's lesson is timeless. If you want to be wise, first be humble. Empty your cup, and life will fill it with wisdom beyond measure. So, the next time you feel stuck, or the next time you catch yourself thinking, I already know this, ask yourself, is my cup too full? Do I need to empty it to receive more? Because sometimes, the key to unlocking the next level of your growth is not in adding more, but in letting go. Final thought, empty your cup, and you will discover that life itself has been waiting to pour into you all along. Don't forget to share and comment on the lesson you have learned.